Hi everybody, welcome. I am here today with a video that is going to show you several different ways you can make closures for your journals, different style journals, all types. So my name is Pam and I am a guest designer here for Pink Monarch Prints. I am with the channel Silver and Sparkles, so if you like what you see here today, I hope you'll go check out my channel as well. So let's get started. So this was a request, I believe, for people that just wanted some different ideas of way you can make closures for journals. And so I've prepped a few things for you. And we're going to do basically 3 different types. One has a few options, so you'll be able to make some decisions with that. So let's do the first one, which is one that I really enjoy with my journals, and I think it looks really nice. The sample that I'm using is just a hardback journal that I've put together. I haven't decorated it or worked in it yet, so there's still a lot of potential here, but I did cover it with some of the pretty papers from the Pink Monarch Prints October 2024 Tattered Wings paper, and several of the papers inside, not all of them, are from that collection. Some of my coffee dyed papers, some scrapbook paper, but these papers are just beautiful. And then what I like to do with a lot of my hardback journals is I like to make a topper for the front. And so I took from this kit a stuffed pocket that's just included in the kit. I've already put the pocket together, and I also, with this on the same sheet, are some little tags. I think these 2 little tags, and then I just grabbed some of the bits and pieces and went ahead and decorated them. So this is going to look super cute on the front of my journal. And I'm thinking about putting this blank label as a layer down here, and then later, like, I could customize it with my name or a word or a quote or something like that. So I'm thinking about using that here. And then once I attach my topper, I'm going to add this little piece somewhere as well. But I haven't added it to the journal because we're going to incorporate a ribbon type closure by installing the ribbon under the journal topper. So I can't decide if I want to use the green or if I want to go neutral. I think I'll use the green. I particularly like this section that's a little bit lighter, but I think I'm going to have to just kind of go with what happens with this variegated ribbon. This is a sari silk, and it's made with reclaimed silk. I'm going to save this piece for something else. And they do sew strips together, and I don't really like having this piece as part of my closure. So I'm just cutting off a section that's one full strip. Let me see how long this ended up being. I don't even know if we need this much, but that's 23 inches. So that would be 33, 43. This is about 45 inches of ribbon. We'll see how it does, and then I can give you a little bit better measurement perhaps. I said 45, we'll remember that. So when you want to do a ribbon closure, so of course, anybody, and these look great, you can decorate your journal, do whatever, and do a loose ribbon closure, right? And I'm gonna see how this length of ribbon looks on this size journal. I think it's much longer than longer than what I need, because I like to make my bows a little bit smaller. So you could do that. Another thing that I like to do is you can wrap it around multiple times before you tie it. And that looks nice. And this length of ribbon, I think, is going to be perfect for wrapping it around twice. So something like that. Let me tell you the size of this journal, just so you have a sense. This is a 9 by 6 inch journal. It's not super thick. So the beauty of a loose ribbon closure, obviously, is if you change your mind, it comes right off. But you also have some flexibility. If this journal grows a little bit, if it gets a little chunkier, the ribbon will still fit. But this is a take that I like to do, like I said, using the topper to help hold it on. So the ribbon is actually going to lay underneath. I'm going to take these out so I don't accidentally glue them. It's going to run underneath this pocket that I've made. That's going to be my journal topper. and then it's gonna tie here on the side. So I like to kind of position it, think through, make sure I'm liking how it's looking before I add any adhesive or go any further. So, and I would rather have too much ribbon than not enough. What I want to decide is do I want to do 2 strips perhaps, right? And have a kind of a double look. Let's see what that would look like. And depending on the lace or the ribbon you choose for your style of journal, you know, you'll have to think through these options too, of course. So I don't think that the piece that I cut, wrapping it this way, is quite long enough for the type of bow I want to have, and again, to allow my journal some room to grow. So I'm gonna go with a single piece. This is my center point, and because I'm gonna be tying off to the side, I think this is the way it works. I'm putting the center point at the edge of the journal, and it's pretty close. But just to make sure, get your 2 ends. There you go. So I know I'm off camera. I'm just making sure these 2 ends are pretty close together. I know I'm gonna end up trimming ribbon off, so it's not that big of a deal. All right, now you have a few options of what type of adhesive and how you want to glue this down. If you're using, like, I don't know if you guys sometimes use like the crinkly seam binding. I love that. And you can make it flatten out. I'm gonna make this one flatten just a little bit because it is going to give me a better finished look than having the ribbon clumped up under there. And I am going to use some 2-sided tape, and then we're also going to use some wet glue as well. But I'm going to use some 2-sided tape to get me started. And I'm going to put it right, and I'm eyeballing where I want my ribbon. It's approximately in the center. This is going to be here. Always kind of double check as you go. You have time to readjust. And here. Okay. And just kind of burnishing that down with my fingernail, lifting it up. Now this is where, again, it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, but if I'm careful, I can stick the ribbon down to that 2-sided tape and keep it pretty flat. And then when I come through here with some different glue, it's gonna look really good, okay? Probably, if I'd been thinking, I would have kept that 2-sided tape the width of this pocket because I didn't really like that look of it being flattened, but I just kind of lifted it up and it's okay. All right, so now I am going to use a combination of this tape and some wet white glue to stick it down. So I'm gonna put a piece right on top of the ribbon. And I don't think I went too wide that time. I did not, so that's a good thing. And if you want, you can use like a Fabrifix type of glue to make sure it sticks to that ribbon. But because I've used the 2-sided tape, I am just going to use, I think I'm going to use my art glitter glue. So this is just in a little bottle with a precision tip, but it is art glitter glue if you're interested in knowing that. And I'm going to cover it generously because you don't want this to lift up. And I want it to stick really well. And the art glitter glue does go pretty quick onto your project, and when you're on camera, that's kind of nice. All right, and I'm gonna go a little to the right, just so it's a little off center on purpose, because I like that look, and with the bow here, I think it'll be kind of cute. Got it fairly straight, and I'm looking for my bone folder, and I'm just gonna burnish it down, make sure everything is stuck nice and pretty. We're gonna put our cute little tags Back in our topper, I've already inked around this. I'm going to glue it down just for some extra interest. And I did layer this little side piece too. The pocket is only this wide, and I added this piece just because I liked it. And I could skip this. And I think I might. I think I'm going to stick it in the pocket, and then I have that option when I'm ready to work on this journal more in the future. And then let me show you. It's loose on the back, which makes it really easy to work in. And we're going to tie a pretty bow and trim it off. Now, we started with 45 inches of ribbon. And again, I like having a little extra, but I'm going to just trim it off. We still have lots of room if this journal expands, and we can have at it. All right, so that's a pretty simple way to close a journal, but I think it looks really nice. You can leave these longer or shorter as you like. You can put multiple pieces, add more, but that gives you the basic idea of how to use a journal topper to help secure your closure. I'm going to set that one aside. Now I have two different styles of journals, and we're going to do, this is the one where I said it's basically one idea, but a couple of options. So this is just a tab style journal that I've made, and these are also made with Pink Monarch print papers. Pretty sure this is the Jubilant Blossoms, and then they have some vintage bird cards. Super cute, right? Love it. And then each of these pages is also a little pocket. So fun. So I haven't put a closure on this one yet, and I am going to, and I don't mind, I'm going to sacrifice the pocket on the cover because we're going to make a fun little closure that uses an eyelet, and then again, we're going to use a piece of ribbon. So obviously we could just punch a hole and put an eyelet in, but there's a couple of things I like to do. So I've got a couple pieces of paper that we can just choose from, and I have others on my desk. I like to do either a circle or a square underneath the eyelet, and I think it just gives it a little bit of extra pizzazz. And I'm going to do a circle on one and a square on the other. This is an accordion style journal that I've made, again, using Pink Monarch papers. And it's a book page. We're going to attach the eyelet and a decorative piece of paper here and a piece of ribbon so it wraps around, but then the accordion, it will still work to open. So I think this style of closure works well with both of these types of journals. So this one, in fact, I may go not quite a square. We may go more like a rectangle, and I'm going to just eyeball it. And okay, I think that looks good. I like how it layers with the word specimen. Add a little bit of ink. And then I'm going to show you the type of eyelet because I like to put big ribbon through it that I'm going to use. But you can use whatever, if you want to use a smaller eyelet, that's fine. I like using these jumbo ones. I think they're fun, and I have them in different colors. So that eyelet is going to be positioned right there, like that. So we'll do this one first. Set those aside. And I do want to double check on this. Okay, on this one, I don't have anything on this next page, so it doesn't matter. We are good to go. On this one, I'll be careful not to mess up my little page that flips open when we add our eyelet. So I am going to take my pencil and mark approximately the center to help me. And then I'm going to go ahead and glue this down where I want it on my page. Oops, I kind of liked having a little bit of a gap between the two. So I hope you guys can see that. And now I'm going to take my crocodile and I'm going to punch a hole through all the layers, just like that. And now the eyelet's going to go in, and we're going to set the eyelet. Love it. My regular crocodile is not working. I'm getting out my big bite, not because I need it, but because the other one, it's not setting eyelets correctly. So then all I'm going to do is set the eyelet. Okay. Okay. Fun, fun, fun. I love this. It's a really simple, but I think gives it such a nice look. Now, how you tie your ribbon on, you have a few choices, and I do it different ways depending on the project and what I'm working on. You can take a piece of ribbon and just run it through the eyelet and not even really permanently attach, or tie a knot or anything. Run it through the eyelet. This one has a seam right there, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. And you can tie it. It's going to look funky with that seam right there. I probably should have worried about it, but that's okay. Very pretty. And you can run it through just like that. And then when you want to open it up, if the ribbon is in your way, you can pull it out, or you can just leave it to hang. Now, oftentimes I will do something like this. I will double my ribbon over, like in half. And you do have to just kind of estimate the length, depending on the size of your journal and how much you want. And I'll go ahead and just loop it through like this. So again, this isn't permanent. You can easily take that off, right? And then we will bring it around and we can tie it on this side. And that looks cute too. So many options. So play with it, decide where you like to tie. We could tie on this side if we want to by wrapping the other way. But I think it looks really good. And I love having that extra, the soft element of using ribbon. So I do have one idea at the end that we're not going to use any ribbon. So stay tuned for that if that's more your vibe. So then the only difference, so it's basically the same idea, but we are going to punch a circle. And I'm just going to use this tag here to punch a pretty circle. And that was a 1-inch circle punch to give you an idea of the size. And we're going to do the same thing. And we are going to put it here on our journal with an eyelet. And I think I've got plenty of room to not mess up that page I was worried about when we turn it, when we open it up. I think we're going to be just fine. So I glued my circle down. And again, I am going to mark the center. I'm going to know here in a second if I estimated correctly. Yes, we're going to be fine. This is still going to open okay. And if you don't want to set an eyelet, just punch the hole. I mean, that works too. You could even put another smaller circle with a hole punched in. That works. But I definitely like having the hardware, and I like having the hardware have the circle or the square or something kind of framing it. Okay, and I like that gold. I think that might be my last gold one. I may have to order some more. All right, and I'm going to set the eyelet. And there we go. And this still opens no problem. And again, so same idea. We're going to do some ribbon. Oh, that was just a piece. I wonder if it's long enough. I don't know. I bet it'll be long enough to do the loose pull through I was showing you. Yeah, so let's just do that. So simple and so sweet, but it certainly takes the whole journal kind of up a notch, doesn't it? I'm just futzing with it because I'm trying to get the two pieces, when they come around, approximately the same length. Okay, and again, the nice thing about this, and especially with this one being an accordion one, it's very easy to take this ribbon off if you need to while you're enjoying your journal. And if you sort of turn it when you're tying your bow, you can have your bow going in that more vertical direction. All right, love it. So see the difference? Two different ways to attach the ribbon through the eyelet. Now, the last idea I have for you is we're going to be putting it on another. This one I have not decorated yet, but this is also made with some papers by Pink Monarch Print, and I think this was a monthly kit. I apologize, I can't remember which one. So this is where you can make a wraparound kind of tab style closure. And I haven't decided exactly which one I'm going to put on here, but I'm going to show you a few options. So you could take a label or any piece of paper that you think coordinates. You can wrap it around your journal. I usually like to leave mine a little loose. I don't crease it because I know as I work in this journal, it's going to get a little bit thicker. So see the difference? And these journals have the same pages, same number of pages. So you want to just be careful to leave yourself some room to grow. But so we could be as simple as that, and I'm going to show you how to attach it here in a minute. But I also like to sometimes add an image, a flower, like won't that be pretty? You can do one that's thinner. You can do this type of label, right? Like the possibilities really are endless. That color doesn't quite match, but we have so many choices. I'm going to, I believe, use this one because I like this paper with the colors of this journal. And I'm going to use this pretty daisy that I cut out. It was one of the fussy cuts. And we're going to probably attach it like this. Now, I am going to glue the daisy to the tab, but not to the journal. And I want to, again, kind of eyeball how I want it to look. Do I want it to come out? Do I want it to be, closer on here? I think I want it approximately right there. I'm not gluing this to the journal. I'm just holding it here so that I can get a good sense that I have it where I want it. Sweet. Okay, now again, then decide, do you want it centered? Do you want it at the top? You could do a couple of these, almost like little buckles if you wanted to. We're gonna do one that's approximately in the center and see how I'm leaving that gap there so this journal can grow. A lot of times I would encourage you, don't attach these until you're fairly far along in working on your journal, and then you don't have to worry about how thick is it going to get. The back tab we are going to glue down. And again, I want it nice and secure. So I'm going to give this plenty of time to dry, and I don't want it too tight, and I don't want to accidentally glue my pages together. Okay. Feeling pretty good about that. I'm going to be gentle with it while the glue finishes drying. And then all you have to do, this does require a Velcro dot. And I find these work really well. They are the Velcro brand, and they're super thin, the kind that I'm using. And to get it lined up well, take the two different sides of the Velcro, push them together this way. And then when you go to lay this down, make sure you have it where you want it. And now you know your Velcro dots are lined up perfectly. And again, imagine when this cover is fully decorated and the journal is, how sweet this closure is going to look. I just love it. And in fact, the paper is so pretty, and with that daisy, you could leave the cover. It could stay just like it is, and then just start working on the inside of the journal. All right, so those were my 3 kind of beginner-friendly, simple ideas of closures for journals. There are many others, but that hopefully will get you started and gives you a couple of options to choose from as you're working in your next journal. I appreciate you guys watching. I hope you have a great day. Thanks, Anna and Elena, for having me. Take care, everyone.